so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the devotees assembled here. This is Harini Devi Dasi from Mauritius. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is Manisha from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Manisha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to the assembled devotee. This is Aditi Devi Dasi from Canada. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Devi Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Pooja Aurora from Haridwar Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pooja Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanva Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Raj from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the devotees. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Krishna Kathadesh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Nandarani Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Okay, I welcome all of you once again. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhagavatam class. Today we are Hare Krishna. Thank you so much everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are really fortunate to have Anand Prahlad Prabhuji's grace. Anand Prahlad Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I hand over the call to Aditi Mataji to give a brief introduction on Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. This is a brief introduction for His Grace Prahlada Ananda Maharaji, Prabhuji. We are very fortunate to have His Grace Prahlada Ananda Prabhuji in our midst today, giving his valuable time. Prabhuji is a senior devotee, giving his association regularly to Bhakti Sangha Japa group. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, got initiated in 1984 at ISKCON Nairobi Temple. Graduated as physician from Baroda Medical College, MS University in 1977. Practiced tropical medicine at Nairobi, Kenya till 1995. Migrated to USA in 1995 and preaching in Las Vegas since 1997 with Srila Prabhupada's books distribution mission as a prime service. Over to you, Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's my great fortune that I'm associating with all of you who are pure Vaishnavas. And I regret that I recently only joined and I missed all the previous Sadhu Sangh. But anyway, Sri Prabhupada mercy, I'm able to join now. And having joined, I was not able to do satsang for about a week because of some mishap in our family. I had to travel to New Jersey. I'm back from yesterday. And yesterday I received the call in the evening and I had to give this class. I'm not very efficient like the previous exalted Vaishnavas, but I'll try whatever little I know. And if there is any error, please forgive me. And please bless me so that I receive little mercy of Srila Prabhupada and my Guru Maharaj, and also Srila Radha Govinda Swami of Vrindavan. I would like to speak whatever little I know, and please forgive me for any error. Okay, so we'll be starting with the 5th canto, 26th chapter, and 38th slok. This 38th slok is in Gadya. It's not in Padya, but I would like to read it with little Sanskrit I know. All right. Here it says, Nivrutti Lakshana Marga Adav Eva Vyakhyatah Etavan Eva Andakoshaha Yas Chaturdasada Puraneshu Vikalpit Upagiyate Yattad Bhagavato Narayanasya Sakshan Mahapurusasya Stavistam Rupam Atma Maya Gunamayam Anuvarnitam Adrutah Pathati Srunoti Sravayati Sa Upageyam Bhagavatah Paramatmano Agrahyam Api Shraddha Bhakti Visuddha Buddhi Veda. So in this slok, the translation is, in the beginning, the 2nd and the 3rd cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, I have already described how one can progress on the path of liberation. In the Puranas, the vast universal existence, which is like an egg divided into 14 parts, is described. This vast form is considered the external body of the Lord, created by his energy and qualities. It is generally called the Virat Roop. If one reads the description of this external form of the Lord with great faith, or if one hears about it or explains it to others to propagate Bhagavad Dharma or Krishna consciousness, his faith and devotion in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, will gradually increase. Although developing this consciousness is very difficult, by this process, one can purify himself and gradually come to an awareness of the supreme absolute truth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Krishna consciousness movement is pushing forward the publication of Srimad Bhagavatam, as explained especially for the understanding of the modern civilized man, to awaken him to his original consciousness. Without this consciousness, one melts into complete darkness. Whether one goes to upper planetary system or the hellish planetary systems, he simply wastes his time. Therefore, one should hear of the universal position of the Virat form of the Lord as described in Srimad Bhagavatam. That will help one save himself from material conditional life and gradually elevate him to the path of liberation so that he can go back home, back to God. Om Bhagyantimirasya Gyananjan Salakaya Chakshuran Militan Yena Tasmai Se Guru Namaha Sri Chaitanya Vanovishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupkadamayam Dadati Sabadantyam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Surupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadbhutam Pariyana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhamitam. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासु गौर भक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधा गोविंद दास स्वामी। नमस्ते प्रभुपाद देवं गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषण्यवादि ग्राम्य जन विस्तार। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते गोपाल कृष्ण स्वामिनिति नाम प्रभुपादस्य साहित्य यह प्रकाश वितिर्यचे प्रचार कृत्वान् साधुवत् पादाय ते नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नाम नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषण्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशस्था। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नाम श्री वासवानी देवी दयिताय कृपा कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान प्रभु। श्री गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी की जय, श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी की जय, श्री बलदेव भूषण की जय, श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की, श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर की जय, श्री कृष्णदास कविराज की जय। वंदे रूप सनातन रघु की श्री गोपाल। नमो महादन्याय कृष्ण ब्रह्म प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम गौर त्रिशंग वैराग्य विद्या निधि भक्ति योगम शिक्षार्थम एक पुरुष पुराण कृष्ण चैतन्य सरिधारे कृपाम देरि स्तंभम कालानुष्ठान भक्ति योगम जम प्रादुष्कर्तुम कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम आविर्भूतस्य पदारविंदे गाढ़ं गाढ़ं विलियताम चित्त ब्रह्म कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधर गुरु भक्त हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे राम। So with this prayers to Sri Prabhupada and the Parampara, I'm requesting their blessing to allow me to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, which is beyond my material abilities. In this slok, Sri Sukdev Goswami, having described all the 28 hells to Parikshit Maharaj, he is concluding in last few slokas, and as we have read in the purport, and Srila Prabhupada is mentioning how one can get access to back to Godhead, and the process is described as Krishna consciousness or Bhagavad Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. The third, it is said here in the second and third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukdev Goswami, it's described how one can progress to the path of liberation. Krama upalabdhena, that's the word which is used there. And also, in the 10th canto, Parikshit Maharaj had spoken to Sukdev Goswami. Nivrutt tarser upagiyamanad bhavavsad sutra manobhiramad kauttam slok gunanuvas pram virajyat vinapasugna. So to get into Bhagavan Krishna's service, to get his love, all this is possible in human form of life only. All right. And in human form of life, only those who are fortunate, Sukrutina, Bhagavan Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvidha bhajantama, Sukrutino Arjuna. So if anyone is Sukrutino, even Agnat Sukrutino, he will be able to get mercy of pure devotee like Sri Prabhupada. All right. So to do Bhagavan Krishna's Gunanuvad and to speak about Srimad Bhagavatam is a great fortune. Right? It puts you directly in touch with Lord Krishna's mercy. And that's how one can get back to Godhead. Parikshit Maharaj was very much worried, having heard the whole description of 828 hells. And because of his Vaishnava heart, he is full of compassion for fallen souls like us. And he is asking Sukdev Goswami later in the 6th canto that what can one do in order to get release or bypass this hellish condition? Dialogue with Yamaraj. Also in Bhadi Govindam, Sri Sankaracharya, Sripad Sankaracharya has described Bhagavad Gita Kinchadidita Ganga Jalla Kavi Kanika Pita. Sakrudapi murari samarcha kriyatan tasya yamena charcha. All right. So if we want to get no dialogue with the Yamaraj, we have to do Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha versus Gramya Katha. Right? I have always followed Sripad Radha Govind Swami of Vrindavan. I regularly hear his lectures, and I get most of my knowledge from his teachings. So this is what he has taught us, how to get into Krishna Katha. Whatever little Krishna Katha you and me know, we should share with conditioned souls. Yare dekh tarak hai Krishna Upadesh. In this way, we purify our heart and become eligible to get the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna, Srimad Radha. In the third canto also, the same kind of question was raised by Vidur to Maitreya Rusi. He says, Sukhai karmanit karoti loko. Natai sukham vanyad uparam va vindet bhuyastata dukha evam yadatra yuktam bhagwan vadenda. Vidurji is asking Maitreya Rusi that everyone in this world is trying for obtaining happiness. Sukhai karmani karoti loko. But invariably, the result is opposite. Vindet bhuyastatra eva dukha yadatra yuktam. He says he is obtaining dukha instead of sukh. So what is the yuktam? What is the upaya? Yadatra yuktam bhagwan vadena. So in the answer to Vidurji's question, and Maitreya Muni says, Ases sankle samam vidatte gunanuva sravanam murare. Ases means unlimited, sanklesh means all the unhappiness, distress, miseries. Ases sanklesh samam vidatte. All of them become nullified. When if you and me can do Gunanuvad of Bhagavan Sri Krishna and his Leela, which is fully described in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam and especially in the 10th canto. So if you and me can do little of Bhagavan Krishna's Gunanuvad, hearing, Sravanam, Kirtanam, and then Smaranam, then these three Bhagavad Dharma will give us access to Lord Krishna's mercy, and we can enter into his seva. Also, having heard all this description of hellish planets, Sukdev Goswami later on described to Pariksit Maharaj about Ajamilakhyam, which comes in the 6th canto after finishing these. And 6th canto, first 3 chapters are all about Ajamilakhyam, in which a sinner like Ajamil, how was he delivered? In nutshell there, as I understand, Sukdev Goswami, first of all, prescribes karma kand as the atonement for doing prayaschit for whatever sins unknown and known we have done. And that was rejected by Pariksit Maharaj, telling him that this kind of atonement is like bathing of an elephant who bathes himself in a river and goes on the shore, puts the dust again on his body. Kunjar Sauchavat. That was a word used there. And that's what was rejected, that, this kind of atonement will not work for us. Secondly, the second prescription given by Sukdev Goswami to nullify our sins was Gnan Kand. The Gnan Kand, Vimarshanam is the word used there, and that by knowing someone will, not do the sins again. But that also was rejected by Pariksit Maharaj, saying that, this is like Venum Gulmam Iva Anala, just like some creepers at the base of bamboos. They have got their roots in the earth. And when there is a fire, Iva Anala, the bamboos crush against each other, produce fire, and they get burnt. And even that creeper gets burnt, the leaves get burnt. And then later on, when there is little rain, they sprout again. Why? because the roots were not burned. So the Gnan Kand is also rejected. Then the third prescription was given, which is the ultimate, which said, Sukdev Goswami says, Kechit kevalya bhaktya vasudeva paraya agham dunvanti karsnena niharam nibhaskara. Just as the sun, when rises in the east, and if there is fog, within few minutes, the fog is evaporated. Similarly, one who takes shelter of Bhagavan Krishna's Kathavarta, Gunanuvad, Sravanam Murari, then his sins will be completely karsnena, completely eradicated. He becomes a pure devotee, heart becomes pure, and he obtains service in the eternal service of Lord Sri Krishna. So all this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, and as it points to us, the real goal of our life is to dedicate our service to Srila Prabhupada's mission, which we have been doing here in Las Vegas for last so many years. We are about a group of 5-10 devotees here, and we collect fund and buy books from ISKCON BBT Los Angeles, and give it to XYZ's, any person who is fortunate, giving these small books of Srila Prabhupada. So this is how we are doing some service to Prabhupada to obtain his mercy. And I was really fortunate to have obtained this Japa Sangha, and I am really thankful to all of you for allowing me to speak little Srimad Bhagavatam here. Also in this slok is described that this vast form is considered external body of created by this energy and qualities. It is generally called Virat Roop. This Virat Roop is the external body of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And in 5th canto, whole the Vedic cosmology is explained how the 14 planetary systems are arranged and where are the hells situated, what are the conditions of all. And understand in Mayapur, we are building a big planetarium, as was the desire of Srila Prabhupada. And I'm very eager to go and see that, having attended that course called Vedic Cosmology by Dhir Prasad Prabhuji from Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya. I just recently attended that course. So it's very interesting how the whole material universe, whole planetary system is arranged in this as a Virat Roop. Also, Bhagavan Krishna says, we understand this is external body, but Bhagavan Krishna says, Ajo api san avyatma bhutana visaropiyam. Prakrutim swam adhisthaya. His internal potency is the one which is acting. And we are all in the external, under the Maya. But Bhagavan Krishna says, Apiche suduracharo bhajate mamandane bhag sadhure samante shipram bhavati dharma sattvastanti nigacchati konte pradijani name bhakta. So I have only one hope on the promise of Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Krishna does not himself promise that I will not allow my devotee to be vanquished. He asked Arjuna to declare this. And this is why Lord Krishna, he said that I may break my promise, as he did with Bhishma. He had taken vow not to take any weapons, but he took some weapon, the wheel, and he wanted to attack Bhishma Dev. So Bhagavan Krishna is telling Arjuna that Konte pratijani name bhakta pranasi. So if I can become recognized as a servant, what to say of a devotee of his divine grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, then I have all the chances of getting out of birth and death. So this is very nicely depicted here in Srimad Bhagavatam, this part of. I have not prepared much or longer on this, but this much I can say, and I would not take longer than that. So if any questions or anything, comments, please. Questions I may not be able to answer fully, but like Sukhakar Prabhuji is always giving some comments, so I like his comments. So I would request him to speak, and others also.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Very nice, very nice Prabhu. Very nice. Prabhupada ji says always simplicity is the best policy. So you are a very, very simple, but a very devotee from the heart. So it's not that how much gyan you have, how much you can talk, but whatever you know, you told.
Right.
So what I find in our ISKCON, what we are learning, though we may be qualified, I'm a chartered accountant, cost accountant, but that doesn't help in our spiritual life unless we understand that we are not this body, we are a soul, and our duty is only to serve the Supreme Lord for His pleasure. And whatever we having in our life, whether our wife or wealth or our family or our education or position, gold, everything belongs to Krishna, because this body itself is not ours. The body belongs to Krishna. Our senses, karmendriya, jnanendriya, or the subtle body, everything belongs to Krishna. So once we know, then we will never be upset if anything happens wrong in our life. We will say that it's my bad karma, I'm losing. Anything happens big, I'll say of gratitude. I don't deserve, you are giving me this. At that position, we will never be able to forget the lotus feet of Krishna. And this is the way we can get out of these three modes of material nature. The three modes are real thing binding us. Sorry, I'm not giving a lecture or anything, since you just told my realization. So this is how we can win our this material life. There's nothing, no way other than knowing that we are Jiva Sharupa Krishna and Nitya Das. And I'm only a servant. I'm only serving for your pleasure. You do whatever you want. I'm a Katputli. I'm just a doll. I'm a dog. Tumi to Thakur, Tumar Pukur, Janiya bolo ho mori, Sharbosho Tumar, Charone Shopiya, Odichi Tumaro Gori. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung this song so wonderfully that you are a master and just a dog. So I've given everything to you. You do whatever you want. I'm a dog in your house. I'm outside. Just take care of it. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Very well.
Wonderful.
Yeah. He also sings Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kuch Mura.
Yeah. Manoso Deho Geho Jo Kichu Mor Arpilu Tuva Pade Nanda Kishore. I was in Calcutta. All my childhood, I was in Bangla ko bhala kore kotha bolte pari. But unfortunately, I was there. I'm born in 58. Till 79, I was in Calcutta. But my family used to tell, that is all, that Dammaru Dam, that film came, no? So we all thought that it is CIA agents, udhar jayega to fasa dega, you know. They'll put some scent and they will attract you, you become drug addict. Right. So till 79, whenever they come, I'll just run away. Oh no, we are all IS. We are all, you know, what Bhagavad. I used to abuse them, but Prabhupada never left me. I got the first job after becoming a chartered accountant in Kenya, Nairobi. So opposite my house is Rukmini Dwarkaji's temple. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj came and just took me, and I'm so thankful ISKCON. I'm thankful to Japa Sangha. I like this. The lectures are very good and people are very good. And we all want to Machita Madgata Prana Bodhe the Parasparam Kate in Testamam with them Tushyanti Charam throughout the day. Bhagavatam, evening Chaitanya Charitamrita, then Japa. So nice. Thank you very much.
Very well.
See, I'm a South Indian, but I'm brought up in Kerala, Malayalam, Samsarikim, घर में तमिल बोलते हैं, बांग्ला को भालो को कथा बोलते हैं बारी. School I studied Hindi, then I Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, Gujarati. I spoke to Modi in Gujarati. 18 languages I learned. My Guru Maharaj told, learn as many languages. We have to come to TOVP and there 1 lakh people will come. So bonjour, comment ça va, comment allez-vous, ça va bien. I learned French also. Malu Arabi kullu tama mazboot. I'm not telling proudly. I'm just telling I want to be the best. I'm doing my best servant to serve.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Haribo. Bhagavati Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prahlada Ananda Prabhuji, for this very beautiful class, and also Sugakar Prabhuji, Sukar Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your wonderful, heartfelt comment and inputs. It is really encouraging to see both of you inspiring all of us. It's a very nice relation. Thank you so much, both of you. Hare Krishna. So there is one question from Jyoti Takni Mataji. Mataji, you can please go ahead with your question.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Could you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I would like to know how you started preaching in Las Vegas, because it is the city of sense gratification. I would like to know your struggle and the book distribution part experience also. So please give me your blessing through your
Thank you.
teaching.
Thank you very much for asking this question, Mataji. Variante Krishna, Yat Kruta Krishna Samprashna. Any question which relates to Bhagavan Krishna's Katha is exalted question. Variante Krishna Prashna, Yat Kruta Krishna Sam. So I moved from Africa in 1995 on the basis of blood relations immigrant visas. And I stayed over 2 years in New Jersey. That's where I was associating with Tobacco Temple. It's in North New Jersey, near Parsippany. So that temple is still there. And last week when I was in New Jersey, I went there, had darshan there. And I stayed there for 2 years. And then I moved to Las Vegas due to my job. And at that time in 1997, there was not very many Indian families here in Las Vegas, but there were mostly doctors and professionals and others. There was a lot of satsang about Swadhyaya. There's a lot of Gujarati people here also in our. So Swadhyaya was very prevalent that time. Pandurang Sastri Swadhyaya, which they say about Lord Krishna, they call it Jai Yogeshwar. So that kind of philosophy is there. But what I detected was that it was not pure philosophy of Krishna Bhakti. It has some impersonalism kind of touch there also. So all the friends and others I gradually developed, they were all doing this satsang there. Except there was one Bengali family by the name Gopal Day, Mr. Gopal Day. And he was holding some small satsang at his apartment here in Las Vegas. So I started associating with him, and then unfortunately had to leave for a job for after some time. There was no temple of ISKCON there, which is now for about last 2 years or so here. Previously, this Hindu temple was built at the cost of about $2 million by doctors and Jains and all Gujaratis and South Indians, all they contributed to that. So since I was doing satsang in different households of friends like that every Sunday, we were doing satsang. And I was just teaching them little Bhagavad Gita slokas like that. People didn't even know what is Bhagavad Gita and what is Bhagavatam. So I had to start from very root, kind of like that. So that's how we started at a friend's house, and then we were doing all satsang, all these swadhyayas also they started coming up. And some of them were pharmacists and other professionals. So regularly doing like that. And then when this temple was built, somehow they got the news that we were doing this satsang. So that the temple president, they called me and said that why not do it at our temple? I said, oh, I would like to do that. Meanwhile, I had been visiting Vrindavan and other places. At Vrindavan, I met Radha Govind Swami, who had come to my house in Nairobi. Also, he came here when I was in New Jersey, and we had prasadam together. So he gave me a lot of mercy. And he told me that it will be good for you to preach at this temple because other demigod worshippers will also be coming. You can give them small booklets and they will, that's how they will. So this is a mission I was given by Radha Govind Swami. And Radha Govind Swami is so merciful upon me that he chastised me one time. Chastisement is a great, great blessing, I understand. Right? Just like we see all the stories in Srimad Bhagavatam. So after that, I became very dedicated to his teachings. And so we started doing this satsang for over last 15 years, 20 years now. And since Corona started, we started doing it on Zoom. And that's how we have continued doing that. We have covered so many cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam and also Bhagavad Gita for the newcomers like that. So this is how we have been doing. And I asked for donations from all these people that, you can give us whatever little you want, and we can get the books from Los Angeles, and we've been doing that. So we get the books from BBT Los Angeles. I go to that temple, ISKCON temple, about 3-4 times in a year, get all the books here, and then we distribute books to the people. Though some people give donations when we give the books, otherwise, we just distribute it free of charge to all of these people. The population in Las Vegas is labile. A lot of people are visiting. Some people are temporary here for a few years, like that, and so it's not very, would say, constant population here. But that is to our advantage, because people are all over. They take the books and go and read wherever they are. In addition to that, a lot of people, our Indian people, also come to Las Vegas for their jobs, missions, like, seminars and other kind of things. So they visit not only for vacational purposes, but for other purposes, they also come. So we go to the strip, meet XYZ there, especially if there is India, we would stop him like that. Also, there's Black population here, so many. And we also give them to books like that. Some people, they just would not, accept the book. Some will accept, and in front of you, they'll throw it in the garbage like that. But we don't worry about that. Prabhupada says, if someone even touches my book, right, he'll be blessed. If he reads even one sentence, one page, one word, he will be blessed. So I believe completely in the words of Srila Prabhupada, who is pure devotee of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So this is how we do here, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, great pleasure that you meet XYZ and give him a book. Some people, they think that we are kind of preaching our religion like that. But when they read the book, that's where they realize that this is not religion. This is complete fact, spiritual fact, and that little spiritual touch will give them Agna Sukruti, and that's how they will be on the path back to Godhead, like that. So this is what we do here, and we enjoy doing it. I'm retired now, 68 now. For the last 4 or 5 years, I'm retired. So I give as much time as I can. My 2 sons are here, and one of them is practicing anesthesiologist. So we are doing whatever we can do, little service, Srila Prabhupada, and hopefully he will bless us. Okay. So that's my little story here. Thank you for asking.
So Jambo bana habari Mazuri.
Jambo habari Mazuri sana. This is Kiswahili of
yeah, Jambo. Hakuna matata kuja mara moja. Mungu iko mazuri.
Right. You know the Swahili. This is Bantu language. So I'm sorry.
Gujarati manas છો.
I'm Gujarati Patel.
મને ગુજરાત કેમ છો શું ખબર વ્યાપાર પાણી સારું છે આનંદ મંગલ જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ.
Very good, very good. In Kenya, where I was practicing from 78 up to 95, there are 3 groups of Indians, like Patels, Shahs, both are Gujaratis, and then Punjabis, Singh. These 3 groups control the whole economy of Kenya.
And Swaminarayan.
Swami also. They are
Narayan, Swami Narayan. But their philosophy I did not like. They're not
That's
gel
right.
with Prabhupada.
Right.
They're telling Swaminarayan is bigger than Krishna. How can it be? How can the Guru be bigger than Krishna? Anyway, I didn't want to argue this. They're also following this.
I'll give you an interesting story there. When I went back to from Africa in 1980 to get married, I wasn't married. So I went and gave advertisement in the newspaper that, I have come for marriage. I'm here for 3 weeks only. Then that's how we got married to my wife. She belonged to Swaminarayan. Right?
Oh.
So then I said, okay.
Yeah.
I was not completely cognizant with Vaishnava philosophy also. So, I was fresh from med school and, didn't have much knowledge about, although my mother used to do Krishna Puja and everything. I was brought up in Vaishnava like that. But, this medical knowledge and all these kind of things, they put me completely under Maya, and I was not, not interested in all this. So I said, okay, let's see what this Swaminarayan is. So we used to go to Temple of Swaminarayan in Nairobi. And after visiting there 2-3 times, I realized that this is not clicking me, I said, this guy, I found it very materialistic kind of philosophy there. I'm not criticizing, I'm not with all. Correct. But it didn't click to me. And that time there was no ISKCON temple. Right? So I said, okay. After going there 3-4 times, I stopped going. Right? Then they started writing me later, why are you not coming? Why are you not donating this, that, like that? So I told them, take this check and don't call me again. If I have to come, I come, otherwise I won't, like that. So I abandoned that. Meanwhile, Brahmananda Swami, he had a mission in Nairobi, right? So he was collecting funds and all that. So I came in touch with them. Actually came in touch by sending 50 shillings donation. They were advertising in the newspaper, which was known as Nation, the Daily Nation. And there was another one called Standard. So they advertised that if you send 50 shillings, we'll send you a book and Japmala. I said, this was so good. So I sent by mail, and they sent me by mail the Japmala and the book, Path of Perfection. That's the first book I read. Right? And I said, wow, this is best thing. Right? And then every Sunday, after that, they built the temple. My elder brother was an architect with the city council in Nairobi. And we were both interested in this. So we met that, and then they were trying to build the temple. They had temporarily rented some property, and they were doing puja and all that. So we used to attend that. Then Brahmananda Swami and others, they asked my brother that, if you know some people like that, where we can build a temple. So fortunately, by Prabhupada's mercy, we got a big plot in the area known as Nagara. That Gujarati people are, Nagara. Correct. So that's where there was a Singh who sold that plot to us. And my brother, being an architect, he designed the whole temple. The current temple was designed by him. And he passed it and got it approved as city council. And then the temple was built. It's a fabulous temple, very nice. And that's how, we got into ISKCON like that. And
I was in Mombasa temple, Kanjoni, Mombasa.
Okay, all right. I've not been to Mombasa more often.
Rukmini Dwarkadish,
yes.
Then I was in Sharjah for 20 years. So I was the temple president of Sharjah and Ajman, Sham Deshan,
I see.
Srivas Sangat. Around 2000 initiations I gave to Guru Maharaj to my connections. I was a servant.
Very good. Very good.
Nice, very nice.
Nilesh Prabhuji has some question.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.
I'm Manashri. I have joined, just newly joined this group from Bombay, from Mumbai. I just wanted to share a small thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
In 2007, I was nowhere close to Krishna, nowhere close to being a devotee, or nowhere close to being even spiritual for that matter. I was traveling from Mumbai to Pune, and I got caught in the dindi, where the Vitthal Bhakts walk from Dehu Road to Pandharpur. And I got stuck in that dindi for 6 hours in the bus. And I was watching all those people walking with tulsi plants on their head, almost all of them uneducated farmers, poor people, just saying Vithala, Vithala, and walking all the way to Pandharpur. And suddenly I felt tears in my eyes, and I was so ashamed. I said, these people who are not even educated, they cannot read any books, they can not write, but yet they're so engrossed with Vithala, they're so engrossed with Narayana. And look at me, I'm not doing anything. And that is what actually put me on this path. And today I go to the Radhanath Swami's temple in Chapati in Mumbai, and I live close to that place. And it's a journey I can, I would relive it. It's so
superb.
Very good. It is
so
said,
the best.
Brahmand Brahmite Kaun
Yeah,
Bhagyavan ji.
and I'm fortunate that Vinita Mataji has added me to this group, and I'm able to hear all you great souls talking about Krishna. I'm really thankful.
Hari Bol, Hari.
I am from Chembur, Mumbai. Chembur. Mala Marathi mahiti. Mumbai cha Manas. Jai Maharashtra.
I'm a South Indian. I speak Marathi. I'm married to a Goan, so I speak Marathi. Mumbai chi Marathi changli bolte.
Ninga Tamil ninga?
No, I'm from Hyderabad. I'm Telugu.
Bagunara.
Yeah,
Chapandi. Chala bagundi.
Thank you.
Chopati temple is the best, east or west. Raghunath Maharaj is so good.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for that comment. It was really inspiring. If anybody have any questions for realization, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. Is it possible I can have your contact number, please?
I'm sorry?
Prabhuji, they are asking.
Yes, go ahead.
Phone number?
Yes.
My phone number?
Yes, please.
Okay, my number is 702 630 6133. I'm on WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please
Mataji, Bhagavad
Eh.
Vasudha Mataji. In case I'm interested in giving a class, will you give me a chance to speak if you don't mind? I don't know.
Yes, Prabhuji, sure. We will talk with the coordinator and they will surely arrange for one.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
We are very fortunate enough to hear from all of you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving your yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
No one have any.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for saving the day today. I was worried who will give class, and you gave the class very nice, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you so much. So I would like to request all the devotees on the call, like we are now finishing the 5th canto, and we learn the cosmology and many things in 5th canto. So anybody wants to share some points from Srimad Bhagavatam, what we learn in 5th canto, so they are welcome to do so. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Once again, I just wanted to say, Prahlada Ananda Prabhu, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for accepting the request in the last minute. Thank you so much, and beautiful class. Nice conversation between you and Sukarkar Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, if we can open forum for the discussion for 5th canto.
Yes, discussion for the 5th canto. I would like to request Kaumudiki Mataji or Lalitangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Please
Mataji.
go ahead. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah, so this 5th canto was an eye-opener, right, Mataji? Thank you so much for you and all the team for arranging such nice speakers every day. And right from the beginning of Jadabharat's story and Rahugana and how, each and every shloka a day and a speaker explains on that. So it's we get in-depth understanding, and also their various realizations opens up so many understandings and realizations for us also, which is very, very rare. So I thank all the coordinators for this platform of just being at home. We are able to hear from everyone. So my understanding is the classes of Pavaneshwar Prabhu was a real eye-opener, because I understood that how this thing, being cosmology, is the center of the Bhagavatam. 5th canto is almost in the middle, and half of the 5th canto is dedicated to this cosmology, and how important it is to understand various other pastimes, and that occurred in various planets and also in different yugas and different time scales. So Pavaneshwar Prabhu's explanation was a real eye-opener, although we had read it many times before, but nothing made sense. I mean, some things made sense, and beyond that, we couldn't get a grasp of it. So Prabhu had put his all his efforts and research in that, and came up with this model of what is Jambudvipa, and how he explained the Priyavrata Maharaj going around, and the whole Bhumandala being divided into 7 concentric circles and different islands, and how Jambudvipa was described in detail, and also Bharatavarsha. So we see that how we are a speck, really a speck, an insignificant speck in the whole part of the creation. So that was, and thanks for creating the YouTube playlist for anyone to go and see that and hear it again and again. And also the previous speakers and the speakers who came after him, they covered all the other aspects, while Prabhu covered the technical aspect of this, which is a real boon to us. And also many speakers came up and said that how Bhagavatam is explaining everything in short, but when it comes to prayers, that's where we get a pause. So right from the first canto to the 12th canto, we see that in different, there may not be many details to the different pastimes, but the purpose of Bhagavatam is to engage us and in praying to the Supreme Lord. And so the prayers aspect of it is dealt with in detail, because that is ultimately that what we have to get, what we have to do, what we have to practice. So it was so nice hearing the prayers of prominent devotees from each dvipa, and how they are offering to the Lord their glorifications, and that was very wonderful, Mataji. And culminating with hellish planets, although it was so sometimes throughout the day we think about it, the description of the hellish planet and how terrible it is, but it's so wonderful to know that many different speakers also gave their explanations of how, being a devotee, chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can bypass the hell. But at the same time, we need to be careful that if we are not careful in this path, this is where we fall into. So now we are in the frying pan in the material world. There is a saying that falling from the frying pan into fire. So that was so nice that how everyone pointed out this, that we have to take this this path very seriously, and also we have to try and see that how all the other living entities, especially human beings who have developed consciousness, and they're going to, especially in this age of Kali, sinful activities are being promoted from very young, and with no efforts. Just a person, if they are not in Krishna consciousness, 100% we can say that people very, very rarely they escape from going to hell, unless in other ways they're connected with other bona fide sampradaya and chanting the holy names of the Lord. So that way, this was also an eye-opener and making us become more strong and more serious and committed in this path. Also help others as much as possible to take up this chanting of the holy name. Otherwise, their future is very dark. We know this, and we are very fortunate to have this. So now it's our responsibility to give it to others. So these are a few of my realizations, Mataji, and thank you so much, you and your team, to keep this going on, to get speakers from various places, and this really very wonderful seva. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Lalitangi Mataji. It was a really wonderful experience having fifth canto, and before starting fifth canto, we were so much in like how would be that would be like having the cosmology and how we are going to learn, and we had a lot of classes by Pavaneshwar Prabhuji, and it was really a great learning for us. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining every day and asking questions and being curious about the subject matter, and being serious day by day. Thank you so much. Who would like to go next?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, I had some other call from Dubai, that's why I left and came back. Actually, what I can understand is from after I came very recently, only 1 week back, Anita Mataji connected me. Otherwise, I was not knowing about this Sangha. So, what I can see is after hearing this planets, these hellish planets, I went with all Srila Prabhupada's lectures on Nama, because only the Harinam can save from all these things. Srila Prabhupada says that if we are doing chanting even by Helanam, like jokingly or even doing Nama Aparad, you are chanting but you are doing Aparadas. Then Srila Prabhupada says, still, since they are telling the name of the Lord, taking the name of the Lord, they will definitely get pious, maybe you go to Indra's planets, heavenly planets, or they'll get Bhog. And if you're doing Namabhas chanting, then all the sins will get washed. But when we go to the Shuddha Nam chanting, then only we can go near the Krishna Prema. We'll get that. So about that, Srila Prabhupada has told that if we are chanting from the Brahma Mother Gaudiya Sampradaya, then Brahmaji immediately starts doing our Arati every day. Why? Because he's telling those who are from Brahma Mother Gaudiya Sampradaya, he is the Sampradaya top man. After Krishna is Brahmaji. So he knows that yes, this fellow Prahlada Ananda Prabhu is going to come. So he will do Arati every day because he knows that he is going to come. And when he is going to Vaikuntha Loka or Golok Vrindavana, they will have to go via the Brahma planet. So Brahma says, I will start doing now itself. So I know that he is going to come. And another point Srila Prabhupada has written is, if you are doing proper chanting, then by listening to our chanting, and chanting is important because we are not listening. The aparadas come because we are not listening. Srila Prabhupada said, don't worry about mind, just chant, just chant. So when we are listening, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's clearly written that our ear is to the Yajna Kunda. And from our mouth, the Mahamantra is coming. The Mahamantra is the Yajna item we are going to put, the ghee. And then our tongue is the kapati, that is the spoon. So when you just chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When you are pouring it properly in the ears, Nama and Nami are not different. Harinama and Nama Prabhu and Nama, that Krishna and name is not different. So when you are putting Hara, Srimati Radharani is going inside. When you're putting Krishna, Krishna is going inside. When you're putting Rama, Balaram is going inside. So all three goes inside means you can understand what will happen. Everything will be washed. The Kama, Krodh, Moh, Lobh, Mada, Matsarya. Then Adibhautik, Adhyatmik, Adidevik, all three will go off. And we'll go out of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, we'll go out of all these things. So Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing our ISKCON, the whole thing starts with chanting. When somebody comes, first we say, chant one round. And at the time of death also, Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram Yaprayati Samadbhavam Yati Natyatha Samshaya. 8.5, Krishna is telling, whoever will remember me will come back to me. Now, remembering is possible only through the holy name. But to make the holy name remember, we are doing a lot of Krishna Katha. Because when Punya Shavana Kirtan, when you are listening Krishna Katha, that will give more taste for chanting. So when we chant properly, then Ganga, Kaveri, Yamuna, they all come inside our body. And when they just come inside, all the negativities goes off. And a person who has chanted well, already is having Ganga, Kaveri. And when he's giving a good Bhagavatam lecture, it goes from his mouth to the ears of the listeners. They get purified. So this is the impact of good chanting to us and the people around us. The third point Srila Prabhupada told is when you do good chanting, then 7 generation before us, 14 generation after us, they will just get 100% guaranteed back to Godhead when we go back to God. But for that, the Chitraguptas gets worried. Oh, now this Gandharvika Mataji is chanting now. So whatever sins we did in our 4 lakh human species, all those he has to burn it away because we are not going to Yamaloka. So like that. And one Mataji in Delhi, about 5 years back, she's a very good chanter, but unfortunately he never goes for any satsang. So once what happened, she had a heart attack 5 years back, and the doctors declared dead. They were just going to cremate, but just before putting in the pyre, there was a big queue there, so it got delayed. Before it got the pyre, the leg started moving. They brought the Mataji back to hospital and asked her what happened. She said, as soon as I died, my soul went to Yamalok, and the Yamadut was going to show me Vaitarani river. Vaitarani is a place where it is full of mucus, blood, all bad things. So she was wondering what to do, because you have to go inside the Vaitarani, cross and go to the other side where you will get given punishment. So when I was worrying, immediately one white lady came, with white dress, one Mataji. She said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes, may I know who are you? She said, my name is Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha. I don't know. No, I will take you back to the material world, come back. But I have not met you. I have met you. You came for one satsang. She said, I never used to go for satsang. No, one satsang you came, but unfortunately you came inside and you slept. Bhagavatam, you didn't listen. But I know you, you don't know me. So because you attended one satsang, I am taking you back and giving you one more chance. Now you do satsang every day. So she is doing satsangs. I'll give you her number. I'll give you. She has become such a prolific speaker because God gave one chance to come back. So that is the importance of satsang. So, and about chanting, the another important point is told is that when you chant properly, automatically all good behaviors start coming. And Srila Prabhupada has already worried that 75% of the devotees who are following this ISKCON, they will get stuck up in Swargaloka. Why? Because Maya Devi has been told that when they are going, don't bring them to Vaikuntha Loka or Golok Mandala unless they are 100% without any material sense gratification. So Prabhupada ji says that the plane will go near the Swargaloka and all the Urvashi, Menaka, Ramba, Tilottama will be making sounds. And by chance you have a look at that and you feel, oh, let me just go and come back and finish. 12,000 years you are stuck there. And when you come back, you'll come to the material world, the golden age is gone. So Srila Prabhupada says, this life you must go back. Don't delay anymore. Sometimes they'll take near Gandharva Loka. Somebody like good classical music and all. By listening to that, they'll get stuck up. So you should keep your eyes and ears closed and keep chanting while going. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. There are more than 40 points about chanting, 40 points. Some other day I will cover, some other day.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing. Sukhasagari Mataji, can you please go ahead?
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranams. I'd just like to share this thing when Hanumat Mishra Swami gives a summary study of each canto. He makes an abbreviation, and the abbreviation for the 5th canto is Panarbhabu, and it starts with Priyavrata. So with this canto, basically, we have studied, the descendants of Swayambhavu Manu, like his children, like Dehuti, Akuti, Prasuti, Uttarapada, and Priyavrata. And Panar, so P-A-A is Agnidhara, then Nabhi, and R is for Rishabdev. So we went through the beautiful teachings of Rishabdev, Lord Rishabdev, to his sons. And I think so many important discussions, like teachings, were covered in this canto. And then Bhabu. Next is we learned about the pastimes of Jalabharata. Jadabharta with King Rahugana, his instructions, very sublime and very, very insightful. So, and then Bhu is for the Bhuloka. So we learned about how the different planetary systems, Jambudvipa and everything, and concluding with the hellish planets. So I was just hoping this may help all of us to remember the contents or the summary of this canto. I just wanted to share this. And also, with regarding to the hellish planets, I remember Chaitanya Charan Prabhu saying that, it does appear that, the descriptions are very, very grim. And I also was kind of thinking, is this, if Lord is all merciful, like they say, so why this? And I think Chaitanya Charan Prabhu mentioned that he could give a class on how to understand the description of the hellish planets better, and how to understand that why there is so much cruelty being portrayed there. So it will be nice, Mataji, if we can arrange a session with Prabhuji to hear more, like how we can understand, because the descriptions are so kind of ghastly. Some days, I was like, oh my God, it's not easy to digest. So it'll be nice to hear how we can actually take it in proper perspective. So I'd appreciate if you can arrange more classes with Chaitanya Charan Prabhu to understand that. And like Lalita Mataji said, wonderful speakers. Pavaneshwar Prabhu, really decoded and the whole mystery of this, the Bhugola, the structure of the universe and things like that. So thank you so much for all these classes. Hare Krishna.
For that beautiful command.
Thank you, Mataji, for the nice summary. We learn about Vrishabhadev and activities of Agnidhara and activities of Maharaj Priyavrata, and we learn the story of Bharat Maharaja and how he has to go through 3 lifetimes. He has to go home back to Godhead, but at least he went in 3 lifetimes. We don't know how much we have to go, but by learning all this, we can learn the lesson from that, how such a pure devotee, Maharaj Bharat, has to go through animal life and what to speak about us, like that. And later on, the cosmology, we learn also in Bharat Maharaja's story how he gives the talks between the Maharaj Rahuguna and Jadabharata. It was really eye-opening, like a Bhagavad Gita. We learn like that. The lessons are given in the teachings of Jadabharata. So like that we learn. And one more thing, the forest of material enjoyment, how we are enjoying in this material world, like Lalitangi Mataji said, we are on the frying pan. So this material world is kind of a forest, and how the ferocious animals they come, and how many difficulties they come in this material world, but still we are thinking about the enjoyment and looking for happiness in this material world. So that's what the Bhagavatam is teaching us, that this place is no more good for living. We have to go home back to Godhead. And the description of hellish planet gives us that this is the material world. You have to go to spiritual world, and for that you have to take lessons from senior acharyas. And Bhavaneshwar Prabhu, he gives the description of Jambudvipa and other planets, and it's like teaching the whole cosmology, and it's totally different from what we learn from in this material world. in this material world, they want to see with their eyes what is there in the whole universe. But the whole universe doesn't cover only the material things, but it has the spiritual planets and all spiritual things which we cannot see, and how it is technically possible that with the proofs and with the explanation Pavaneshwar Prabhu has explained us so nicely. So I am very, very grateful to all of you and all the speakers. Thank you so much. Raj Prabhu, you want to go ahead?
Mataji, Anuradha Mataji is there. She's senior. So please,
Okay,
Anuradha
Mataji, please go ahead.
No, Prabhu, you raised hand first. Please go ahead. I'll speak. I don't have much to say. Please go ahead.
That's okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hello, Pranam. Beautiful class, Prabhu. Very short and crisp class, but very clear message.
I'm so sorry I couldn't elaborate much on that, but whatever did I could. Yeah.
First of all, thank you for speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam for such a short notice. It's never easy to prepare classes of Srimad Bhagavatam because the speaker wants to give his best to the audience and speak the glories of the Lord. But it's so beautiful of you for accepting that and coming on the call and giving Srimad Bhagavatam class. That's such a nice thing. Hare Krishna. And I was thinking about, I joined Bhakti Sangha, I think about a year ago, and this is only Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalu Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyatha. So what they do on the different calls is all about Krishna, all about Harinam. So it cannot be pleasing. It's just amazing. About the 5th chapter, which is not easy to understand, certainly not easy to understand. We all can see the videos of His Grace Pavaneshwar Prabhu, amazing videos, but still, it's not easy to understand. But one Prabhu was explaining this, and that just got stuck into my mind, and I love that statement. He said about the digestion. When a 5-year-old is asking you how digestion work, and we say him, you eat the food, and then there's a food pipe, and then this is how digestion work. And when you talk to a 10th grade guy, he says how digestion work, and then we can explain him the role of saliva and the juices, and that way he understands. When we talk to MBA, who is doing an MBA, now we are talking about the acids and what causes acidity and all that. When a gastrosurgeon is talking to another gastrosurgeon, now the level is higher. He will say how the brain releases juices, and this is why digestion is weaker. So this context spoken to Parikshit Maharaj, they are the very high level devotees, very high level. So we should just accept it and try to just understand whatever we can. Because I think if we want to understand God for completely, we are the biggest fools. So we should just follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction and just try to love Krishna. He Radhe Vraj Devi ke chalalite he nanda suno kutha Shri Govardhan kalpa pad patale kalindivane kutha. We just seek for Krishna's appearance. Where are you? So yeah, beautiful Bhakti Sangha. My morning start with Bhakti Sangha at 4 a.m. So I just love it. I can't live without it, seems like. So Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shamagori Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing.
Got addicted to Bhakti Sangha. Addiction.
Yes. We are all on the same boat.
I want to be 24 hours in Bhakti Sangha. 24 hours. Yesterday night also, 1 o'clock, some children's class is going on. I opened that and saw 1 o'clock in the night. Children's class.
Prabhuji, yes.
So wonderful. I thank every one of you who are just running this. Aapke sharan mein mera sharanagati.
I would like to show this book which I follow. Can you see that? It's called Bhagavata Subodhini. Yeah, it's by Gaurang Das, Darshan Das.
Gauranga Darshan Prabhu.
Yes. So yeah, all of these books he has very nicely composed, in a note form with a lot of nice pictures about Vedic cosmology and all that. So I like to read his, that's how I'm following all these books. So I just wanted to let you know that these are good
very nice
for studying Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very well.
Anuradha Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. So so wonderfully giving the class. You kept it short, but it was very nice. And really want to thank Bhakti Sangha, as you all of us are saying wonderful things. It fills my heart that is like it. Actually, Bhakti Sangha is so wonderful. And though we don't realize, especially for Matajis, we are mostly cooking and listening, and hours go by. And all of a sudden, when somebody asked, when we moved to a temple community and I was asked to give classes, I never realized when I became preacher being with Bhakti Sangha. For it's just 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day if we are attending the mid-morning programs. So I really, really want to thank Bhakti Sangha and Mataji, Shamagori Mataji, for so wonderfully, and everybody else around, Vinita Gandhavika Mataji, Indulekha Mataji, and everybody else. I'm sorry, whomever I'm missing, and the wonderful hosts. And so, when we come to ISKCON, we become grateful to Srila Prabhupada, and our duty is to go and preach others. Similarly, when we come to Bhakti Sangha, and we are benefiting so much day by day, and then it is our job to bring more souls to Bhakti Sangha so that they can also practice very wonderfully. So it's a show of, it's a way of, expressing our gratitude, bringing more soul. With me, whenever I meet somebody, I ask, what's your name? And they ask me my name. And the second question for me is, are you in Bhakti Sangha? So, we should be the salespersons of Bhakti Sangha and of course ISKCON, and which is not different. And I really, every time somebody says, I don't know whether it is true or not, but if somehow or others, they say they like my class, I always, deep in my heart, I always thank them. I always thank Bhakti Sangha, and then I will ask, I have heard these classes from this particular group, and would you like to join? Even so many times it happened in the temple. I just got off the Vyasas and I'll be exchanging the number so that I can get them connected to Bhakti Sangha. So that's how I feel for Bhakti Sangha. I'm really, really grateful for and there is nowhere where you get such consistent speakers and speaking systematic. This is not like a class. I would say this is more like a study group where we are taking each verse and purport, and nothing is being skipped, and everything is being told such a wonderful way. And so grateful. I can go on glorifying Bhakti Sangha, but then coming back to the 5th canto, there it's, as Mataji was saying, that material forest and material world is like a forest. That when I was listening, that was like a slap every day morning early. For us it is 6:30 CST, so it's like I'm preparing for the day, but also like they say that face off. For me, 5th canto is nothing but a face off. Krishna Dharma Prabhu says that spirituality is nothing but unmasking yourself. We are here to perfect ourselves, not anybody else. So it's like literally unmasking. Okay, do I have this anartha? I have this anartha. So there's 5th canto was showing, for me, I'm talking like so many things, so many bad things and it was like, and where do you get such scriptures? Where do you get such books which talks about you? Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, they talk about ourselves, not anybody else, not any other topic, but straight away about ourselves, our body and our soul and our relationship around it so much. Most of us are so much interested in ourselves. Of all the things in this world, I'm interested mostly in myself. And this scripture talks about ourselves. And coming to 5th canto particularly, it was really, really a, wake up call. And I'm going to really miss 5th canto because I don't know how the 6th canto will be. And 5th canto 5.5.18, it says, Guru na shishyat, swajano na shishyat. Like one should not become a spiritual master, one should not become a mother, one should not become a father, relative, or a demigod if you cannot deliver the person who's dependent on you. It can be our elderly people, or it can be our children, or anybody around who are dependent on us. If we cannot deliver them, then we should not take that post of a mother or a father. This is like many of our favorite verse, 5.5.18. It is such a important, and I think in the beginning, in the very beginning of our Krishna consciousness, we are still beginners. This verse really caught me, and then I was just thinking that am I acting as a mother, really as a mother to my child? Because Prabhupada also wrote this very strongly, that one should not become a mother or a father if we are not helping them to get out of this material vicious cycle of birth, death, disease, and old age. And this is one verse really caught me. And also Prabhupada mentions in the first chapter or the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 5:18-12. The previous one was the Rishabdev's teachings to his 100 sons, and this one is the prayers by the Jambudip people, residents, where they say Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana, where that nobody, one cannot have the good qualities until and unless one is a devotee. And then we get into this debate of saying that, we see so many times non-devotees are having a better qualities than the devotees. And then there's so much of explanation there. But until and unless one is a devotee of Lord Shri Krishna, our dear Lord, one cannot have actual good qualities. Other good qualities, as the time comes, it may fall off for non-devotees. For devotees, it will only it will shine like gold. It may seem it's not there right now, but it will come as one practices more and more bhakti. And also Lakshmi ji's prayer says that, you are depending on your husbands, but what good of they are, they are of no use. They cannot really protect you. Only person who can protect you is our dear Lord. So yeah, those are beautiful. I mean, there's so much. Entire 5th canto is so wonderful, but these are the, I was very much connected with 5th canto. I felt really, I felt deep inside my heart that it was talking to me. So those are my reflections. Thank you so much, Mataji, for letting me give my 2 cents. Very, very grateful to you and everybody else present here for tolerating me. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji. One more thing, Prahlada Ananda Prabhuji, Arvidaksha Prabhu is asking your phone number. So please write it down in the chat box.
Okay, all right.
Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, you can go.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing all your inputs on Canto 5 and also the glories of Bhakti Sangam, which is, as Anuradha Mataji said, non-different from Krishna consciousness is gone. So thank you, everyone, for giving all of your association today. And giving all the encouragement to continue with the consciousness of Krishna this day. Thank you, everyone. So let us pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and this Prabhuji, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Kutra. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Is there any restriction to call devotees? Is there any restriction to call devotees number? Can I get 100 devotees? Is there any restriction in calling number of devotees? Any restriction, or I can bring as many people? Is there any restriction in calling devotees?
No, Prabhuji. You can send it to all your friends and family. Any number of devotees can join.
Okay. Hari, thank you very much. Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, Nityananda.
Thank you, everyone. We'll meet again tomorrow.